Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media. And I'm just going to play. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but I've got some postcard size type bases here that I want to add to. Also, the sun is directly in my eyes. Did I say welcome to my channel? This is Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media. I didn't say it like that, so I didn't remember that I said it, I think is what happened. Alright, this is inks with the bubble thing, and oh, you know what? Might be fun. This rose stencil butter is very close to the color. What should we just do a little bit of a, I do have a new flourish somewhere, but this is my old one. Because why not? And maybe do, I mean, the only problem with this is it means I'm going to have to go wash stuff right away, but I can handle it. It's not that bad. But I have this stencil butter I got a little while back, and I thought, why not? The splish splashes would have been good on here too. I have a PM Artist Studio stencil. I'll have to grab it out. I think I got the 5x7 size too, so it would be good for this kind of a thing. So I'm just taking my palette knife. Oops, trying not to go under the stencil, but you know me, things are not. Well, part of it is the stencil is old and a little messed up. And some green got in there. It's alright, we're not gonna worry too much about it. I might wanna I don't know what I wanna do. I'm a little irritated at how much it went through, and all the green, which is from the stencil because I don't clean my stencils, so that's my own doing right there. Let's see. Can I pull some of that up before it dries? Probably not without it looking funky, huh? Because you know, this doesn't only happen to me. I know it happens to other people too. And you're like, well, what do I do? Well, you could just leave it and live with it. Or you could hyper-focus about it, like me, and try to scrape it out a little bit. At least make it a little bit less thick. Doesn't mean it'll look better necessarily. It'll just look different. Is that what we want? And probably you want to put your cover on your stencil butter right away so it doesn't dry out. There's that. I'm going to try a different stencil on a different... Also, I don't want to just do this. I want to try different things. Oh. A dirty napkin here. What if I just make it? Yep, that's how annoyed I was with it. I'm just turning it into texture now. That's how much I did not like it. I don't know. I don't always. But this will add some texture and push some of the bubbles to the background while still being able to see a little bit of the swirliness and whatnot. I don't know. Anyway, we'll let that dry. This one, the main problem I have with this one is just I don't necessarily like the white. I think I used iridescent white, which is fine. Fine. Everything's fine. What if I grab some inks? What kind of inks? Well, Distress ink sprays, because they are transparent. Ooh, hold on. Hold the phone. Twisted citron, no. Fossilized, do we want to kind of yellow it? I don't know what these will do. We've got these Distress spritzes, and we also have the Dilution shimmer sprays. This is like burgundy and green. I might even kind of want to blue it out a little bit. I don't know. Weathered wood. Ooh. Shouldn't try to man it. Let's just, because if I add blue, that'll, I don't know what it will do. Well, let's try this Campo Teal on here, and just kind of spread that around. Should kind of purple out the burgundy a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Definitely take away all this stark white that's happening. And should add some shimmer too, right? Oh, you know what I forgot to do, and I'm going to regret it. Hold on. I'm going to go wash this and wash my hands and be right back. So if you're going to use the cuticle remover to try to remove the ink from your fingers, don't use the napkin that has the ink on it to wipe it off. That's my tip of the day. Alright, so yeah, blue and black ink tends to be quite stubborn. Those are the ones that are the least likely to come off when I am doing this. Alright, so make sure that's wiped off good before I add my gloves in a bottle. Alright, so I'm going to put on gloves in a bottle and see how that does with the inks. Putting on a generous amount. I don't know how much is the right amount, but if it can work as a barrier against the inks and keep my hands from becoming completely stained for 2 to 3 days. Now the cuticle remover does take off about 75% of the ink, but I have, and that's like washing it 3 times with the cuticle remover soap, you know, because I want to wash the cuticle remover off, I'm assuming. Alright, so hands are still damp. I'm gonna wave them around for a minute. I'm gonna pause while I do that. I think my biggest thing of this is I'm just not a big fan of like a Kelly green, you know, except for maybe at Christmas time. So I'm just like, what can I do to fix it, dear Liza? Alright, I have a dried up wipe here that I'm going to use to just kind of rub this on to get a very, just kind of get a thin glaze over it. What am I hoping it will do? Well, I'm kind of hoping it will kind of patina out the green a little bit. Maybe. Probably won't. I don't know. Because it will also probably mix with the teal and make it more brown. Definitely changed it. So now the burgundy's more browned out now. The green is still pretty green. Well, I mean, I do kind of like it better now. I mean, we've got hints of blue and brown and green. What if we then just go ahead and take some gesso. Oh, if I can get the cover off. That's me. Nobody's at the door. That's me again. Just trying to get a good amount of gesso because I'm pretty sure I'm going to use it on other stuff too. This is my old one. Okay, I did not clean the stuff off of that. That's not good. It dried pretty quickly from the paint, and I used the heat gun after I did the ink. And the paint probably worked as a sealant, so well, we do still have some blue coming through. I wasn't sure how much blue would come through. Because I think that's the only water-soluble thing on here is the blue, I think. I don't know. I see some red coming through. So now I'm wondering what I used for the red. Thought I used paint, but maybe it was Brushos. Is that the Kevin Oliver ones? Whichever. Alright. Going to dry that real quick. Alright. That definitely the gesso picked up a lot of the ink behind the paint. I think I'm going to do some more of the orange. The Quinacridone Nickel Azo Gold. Until I'm out, I use that. Once I'm out of that, I'll just use the Azo Gold, which people have done tests on, and it seems to work just fine. I just try things because that's what I do. Sometimes it's a success and sometimes it's not, but you know what, I won't know unless I try things, and I won't know how things react or interact unless I try things. And the best way to get to know your supplies is by using them. Alright, that somewhat fixed it for me. Now let's make it a little bit more fall-like, and we've got some fallen leaves, and maybe bring back in some turquoise colory bits. And this is one of my stamps. It's a Art Deco something, style 1 or style 2. I'm not sure which, but I'm just kind of using it on the edges as like a borderish kind of a deal. Just kind of turning it this way and that. I could even turn it this way. And just kind of giving this a little bit of a border, or just come in and cover the whole thing with it, even just with so this is VersaFine Clear Permanent. This one's Warm Breeze, which if you see pictures on like Amazon, sometimes it looks turquoise, sometimes it looks like a light blue, but it's more like a turquoise, if you're ever wondering. All right, so that's going to take a minute to dry because it's on a non-porous surface, and these inks work best on a porous surface. We have a lot of roundy bits. Where's my, my plus signs might be upstairs. I'll find another stamp I can use. All right, my PM Artist Studio plus signs are upstairs, but I got my Tim Holtz plus signs right here, so I'll do some of that. And sometimes I will actually put my stamp on, my paper on my stamp instead, and then I can just kind of like when you kiss the plate of a on a gel plate. That's kind of what I do, but with my stamp. All right, that's going to take a minute to dry. As you can see, this is nowhere near where it started, but I might be more likely to use it even if I draw leaves on it or something. I'm definitely more apt to use it now. Let's see, this one, that just basically, it needs a glaze for sure. It already has the orange. I don't want to eliminate my orange. So I'll bring in some transparent yellow oxide, or there's a tiny bit of turquoise there. What if I might brown out the orange, but that's okay. Just bring in this again. And I'm just going to take this and put it on top of that, because then we can collect some of the ink from that and de-pinkify that a little bit. I know some people would be like, yes, de-pinkify it, definitely. So the paint acted like a resist to the ink, so you still have the orange actually in there fairly brightly, and then we have all this dark black. That definitely changed it. Set that aside to dry. It will. Now this one I don't hate, but it's just kind of boring. So it just needs some things done to it. What direction? We like pink and brown. Why not pink and brown? Let me do pink and brown. So I'll bring some of this. And I'm going to do like I did. It's easier for me to get it on there a little bit straight if I do that. So I kind of do one corner and then the other corner, and then I might kind of come up the middle a little bit, but I always forget to do the middle. And then I get that, which I think adds to it in the background of it all. And maybe some script. I don't know which way this will go, so I'll go a couple different directions with the script. Let me find, oh shoot. My Chianti's upstairs. What if we try the this bright pink, or I don't have to use permanent, but permanent is kind of good. I think this cactus flower is too bright. Or black. I could just do black. That'd probably be the easiest. I mean, it would be the easiest if it was right in front of me. Nope, don't know where it is for the, oh crumbs, I just got. This is part of the misadventures of it all. It's getting gesso all over. Alright, this one, I want to be able to see what I'm doing, so. Just kind of filling in some of those. I don't mind if it overlaps on the other parts either, but kind of filling out the empty spots. So now I'm more likely to use it just with that alone. But also, let's grab a brush and some gesso, and just kind of come around the edges with it, or you know, a little dry brush to with some gesso. So I put some paint on the brush, take some paint off the brush, and just kind of come on the edges. That's the strongest part that I want, is on the edges. And then once there's less on the brush, then I pull it up all the way and hope to get little bits of lines here and there. Go both directions, since the stamp in there also goes both directions. And then when I ink it, it's going to ink nicely where the gesso is on the edges and stuff, and kind of brightens it in the middle. So that is, it's different than it started. That's all. I don't know. I like it better. This one I'm not going to use the way it is. It's shiny and doesn't have a lot going on for it. I mean, personally, I'm going to dull down the shine a little bit. I think it's got, oh, I see what's back there is sort of a, just probably the rug cleaner, and then it's got the wallflower stencil in there, so I could bring forward the wallflower stamp. Let me try it real quick. I'm gonna, oh shoot, I forgot to open it. Alright, guess we'll see what what the spritzes do. I don't know that they have a lot of pigment in them, but mostly shine, I think. Clean off its nose. I never remembered. It does definitely have, so it's bringing back some of the, I'm going to set that aside to dry, and just, it'll pool up in some places. Do I want to add a darker? Maybe. Also, this is a reminder that if you have inks with the little mica in it, you want to shake it like a bell. Otherwise, when you shake it up and down, you're going to get those mica things up into the little plastic tube that goes up to the nozzle, and you don't want that. Just saying. So you got to shake it like you're a Victorian asking for their servant, and their servants don't listen. So you got to shake it. Shake it up. Ooh, ooh. It's not super dark. So yeah, these are less pigmented, and they're shiny. Clean off the nose. Wipe its nose. So Carrie said, Carrie the crafter said something about wiping its nose. I'm like, I always forget to wipe its nose, but now you say wipe its nose. The way you said it's gonna make me like remember better. All right, this is something I cut up that my son made, like in Mrs. Sutton. Miss Sutton. Is that 4th grade or 5th grade? 4th or 5th grade? I don't know. I don't remember which one was. And so I'm just kind of, I do want to, the black and orange is, you know, unless I'm doing a full-on Halloween journal, is not really what I'm going for. See, I'm so bad. I'm not even shaking it like a bell like I'm supposed to. This one's fossilized amber. I don't know that it's really going to do much, but I'm just going to try it. A lot of people would be like, why are you going to use that? That's not going to do anything. Well, I don't know. We'll see what it does. Okay. Shake it the right way. I still forget. Always and forever forgetting. What if I were to do faded burlap, frayed burlap instead or something, just to brown it out a little bit? I don't know. We'll try this first. Well, we got a couple of these because it was a pretty, it's kind of gold. It looks a little bit gold, doesn't it? Let's see. First, I'm going to spread it out. Ooh, it dries pretty quickly too. So that fossilized amber looks quite gold because of the shininess. Took away some of the black. Let's see. Weathered wood is probably a little bit silvery, right? I'm going to use an ink, like a regular. Oh, or do I want to try the transparent yellow to make it more yellow? That's not weird at all. Yes, it is. It is, but it's not. Transparent yellow oxide. Just gonna yellowify it some more. Old yellower. Because why not? You can use a wet wipe too, and that will do something like it'll help most any paint feel like more transparent just by wiping a thin coat of it over there. See, it's not a bright orange anymore, which is good. But what if I wanted to make it more like a burgundy? Like, maybe add some red iron oxide to it? Or, oh no, let's purplify it. Let's permanent violet dark. Let's see what that does. It's going to brown it out because I just did the yellow, and the yellow's still wet, but I'm alright with that. Little hints of purple showing. I don't want to lose the design part of it in the back totally. I don't know what kind of process they were doing. They were learning something. And there's some like texture back there because I think he was using a brush to do it and stuff. So now there's like a little bit of purple plus the orange, which is browning out some more. I want the orange. Let's see. I don't want to use brown. I'm looking for not dioxazine purple. My other really bright, not green. Oh, it's wait in here. It's one of these quinacridone. This one I think I wanted to try. The violet, quinacridone violet. I'm more of a red violet. And then you won't know how I got this because I'm just doing layer and layer and layer and seeing what happens with each layer until it's something I'm more likely to use. I do like the texture in there from, because you know, like I said, he painted it with. And now it is a little more burgundy than orange. You can see the orange that it started out here. That's how it started, and this is how it's looking now, in case you're wondering. Let's just try just this one as the first layer and see. I mean, you'd think I would like orange and black a little more. That was our school colors. I don't mind a little orange showing through, to be honest. But definitely prefer the violet. Just a little hint of orange showing over there. And let's see, can I take off some of this anywhere? Sprayer. In case I want a little bit more orange to show through somewhere. There we go. Just little bits of orange here and there to show with the burgundy, maybe. Alright, so that's what it looks like if you just do just this color. And this is what it looks like if you do like 5 different colors. But they are definitely different than how they started. So I'm going to put those to the side and let them dry. This one is how this is looking now. It's just about dry. This one, it's just too yellow for me. I mean, I like some of the texture and whatnot, and I don't mind if some of the yellow shows through even. So I'm going to take the quinacridone magenta. I'm starting to crowd myself with my stuff here. I have this song stuck in my head. I won't sing it for you guys because that would just make you sad too. You don't need to have it stuck in your head. Alright, so this is the quinacridone magenta plus whatever is on. Oh, that is bright. But it's not yellow anymore. Now it's orange. Yellow and magenta make orange, in case you were wondering. Am I more likely to use it? Not necessarily. Do I want to red it out some? Do I want to... What about Prussian blue, which is not much is going to show through if I do this, but I'm hoping I can at least get some of the pattern showing through, because there was some interest in the I can't remember the technique I used, but whatever I did, now it looks green. That's not what I was going for. That yellow really comes through with the green, doesn't it? And it's really dark. So That's alright. When in doubt, just palette knife some. Just go to Palette Town. Visit Ash and his friends in Palette Town with your palette knife and some gesso. If you don't have millennial kids, you might not know what I'm talking about. My son's almost 30. He's a millennial, right? I don't know. He's definitely a Pokemon player. Just gonna push that into the background. It does look more brown now next to the white. Don't know what I want. Let's just put some texture into it. Because why not? And then clean it. We'll get this. I don't know how clean it's going to get using that. But alright, I'm going to let that dry. This could just do ink and it'd be fine. Or, oh, we've got some ochre in there. Can we just add some ochre to this white part? Maybe get a new wipe. That wipe is getting ridiculous. Maybe get a wipe. It's going to be a wet wipe. This package isn't open yet. If it was, then it would be partially dry because that's how my life goes with baby wipes and whatnot. They're always dry out. Can never get the thing closed all the way. You hear it snap, but when I go back to it, it's not. Oh, it's not snapped. Let's see. We're going to green out that turquoise too. I'm not sure I wanted to do that, but that's alright. You can just wipe off the paint part so we get the turquoise back. Alright. And I probably will cut this one down smaller because this was one piece and that, so they look like they should be two separate pieces. I'm going to keep this on this one. So that would be one piece. My kids watch that show. Do you guys have any kids that watch that show? And then this would be, so then I could put something here and that's kind of like a little background bit. Also can add, let's be smaller. Ooh, we can add some grunge. Let's do that. We like grunge. This side. We like grunge. I like grunge. How about you? What if we add like bright green grunge? That's not crazy, is it? Might be. Also, I'm going to get my bright green all dirty. Just I kind of press on that part. I do have it in, I don't know if it'll become a stamp someday or not. It could. I like a bright green. I like a bright greens and blue greens and olive greens. Not a big fan of like Kelly green. Nothing too grassy. Let's see. So that gave it some texture in the background there. Oh, let's try maybe this one. What do we want to add? Some turquoise back in or not? This is Carrie's. Want to carry the Griffiths. Carry the Griffiths, carry the craft, or carry Griffiths, one of his designs. Just gonna put it on crooked, and then that's gonna totally drive me crazy. Alright, so now there's that. I'm gonna set that aside for a little bit. It's a little better now. This one, I don't mind it. You can see a little bit of, well, for some reason, putting that yellow on made this yellow look more like an olive green. Ooh, so now we can add some olive green if we want to. I do not have an olive green ink. Why are there no olive green ink? Somebody tell me. Tell me why. Oh, but paint. I could do paint. Not sure I have an olive green paint. So I'm going to put a tiny bit of black there. And I don't know what I'm going to get, and some yellow ochre here. Probably work better with a bright primary yellow. Not sure where that is at the moment. Put some of that. Oh, my black didn't. Just a little bit of black in there. Want more of that because I don't have enough for mixing now. More black. I think it works better with like a primary yellow to turn it more green. Like an olivey green. Like if you mix a tiny bit of black and primary yellow, you should get a green gold. And I'm just getting a weird... I don't really want to cover the design in there per se. I was doing some... Oh, we're getting a little black in there too. That's alright. I was doing some dimensional... Ooh, I do like that yellow better though. Dimensional gel plate printing using pieces of Yupo that I had. Screening it out a little bit too much, but that's not, I still got some turquoise showing. Where's my... I'm just adding stuff now. Just random. Adding a lime green to it. To the... In case you ever wondered what lime green and yellow ochre become. Now you know. Just kind of a goose poop yellow kind of a deal happening there. And if you add some black in, got more goose poop. So if you're ever looking for goose poop color, there's one in here that actually, this one I don't love the colors of, but it's got this color in it. So I could just go with the colors and just be like, add more. Just focus on the green more than the purple. I like this kind of stuff that I get with the palette knife, but I don't get it every time. It's kind of like a hit or miss kind of a thing. Alright, so this color back here, I don't really know what it was, but that's what this made. Oh, it's on this too. What was the color palette, the color combination for that month? I think it was yellow, but I think when the yellow mixed with something else, then it became more of that weird green poopy color. Kind of pushing some of that to the background. It's alright. I know some of you might like it the way it is, but it's alright. It's alright. This chartreuse, I think, is what this would be. And maybe that was the color I was... No, I think I was using yellow, but it was coming out chartreuse, maybe, is what was happening. And it would mix with the purples and whatnot. For some reason. Yep, that's... I do like chartreuse though. Maybe that's why I'm not hating this color. Even if it is like a color that wasn't even in the background there, but you know. The chartreuse of it all. You can't handle the chartreuse. You want the chartreuse? You can't handle the chartreuse. If you're new here, welcome. Don't be afraid to come back. Yes, I do get a little weird sometimes. It's alright. People find it charming and amusing and delightful. If you don't, then you might not be for me. I might not be for you. It's actually more the story there. But fortunately, I am for some people. Alright, let's do that on these too a little bit. Just bring some lightness. They're just so dark, aren't they? I don't know, some people might not like the palette sound, the palette knife sound. I can handle it because I'm doing it, but if I was watching somebody do this, I'd probably have to turn the volume down. So don't feel bad if that's you. Just don't even feel a little bit bad. Alright, I know, you're like, you didn't make those better, but you know, that's alright. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I did. Maybe we're not done yet. I mean, once you add some stenciling and stamping, it all goes into the background. Alright, there's that one. That's just the palette knife. I mean, I'm glad I have a gel plate, and I love my gel plate, but you know what? I could potentially just live with a palette knife and be pretty dang happy. Let's start with some gesso. same brand of gesso, just out of a bigger bottle, so I don't have to bang it every time. You don't have to use gesso. Oh, and I'm going to get some stuff from my palette knife, and that's alright too. It's interesting. I'm just going to do that just to get some of it off, maybe. Alright, also gave it a little bit of texture because it pulls on the paint, kinda. Alright, I'm just gonna, whoops, get a little bit more green on everything apparently. This one could have done with inking and being just good with some inking because it just had a lot of white, and now I'm adding back in more white. I like to add back in white. I don't necessarily like to start with the white page, but I don't mind adding white back in, and that was a lot. Let's see. Nice thing about a palette knife is you can scrape it back off if it's not dry yet. You can go both directions. Just get some texture in there. You can. Ooh, I like what's happening. Almost looks like crackled wood because the way the palette knife is. Try things. You never know what you're gonna get or what you're gonna like. When I go like this, it hits across in a ziggy-zaggy line. So some straight and some ziggy-zaggy. Alright. That's cool. Can you see it? I don't know. It's cool though. Let's see. This one is just, part of its problem is that it's dark. Does the size of palette knife matter? Not really. It's how you use it, mostly. Oh, should we try that again? See if it will. Alright, I have to hold it at like just the right angle, and what the... It is interesting. So, you know, if you get, and it's because that's where it does matter. This is one of my, it has like a skinny tip. If I go across the other way too. Will I like that? Sorry about the sound. When I watch this back, I'm probably going to fast forward through this part. Alright. That is interesting. Like I said, you got to try things. You won't know what you're going to get unless you try things. So, alright, that, well, I'm just going to probably come in with another color too. I can cut off the white edges or I can add to them. There's options. Let's see. This was just a pile I had next to my desk, so there's no rhyme or reason to which ones I picked or how many I picked. They were just there. Oh, look at that. There's some chartreuse and all the whatever was there. Whoops. I'm just kind of pressing down on it now, and it's spreading it out, thinning it out, doing interesting things with it. One more, una más. The gesso, I only need like a tiny bit, right? Unless I want to add some back onto some other things. But, you know. There's a song in my head, so if you're wondering that, and I'm like really, this can be really relaxing, like just using your palette knife to add paint to stuff can be surprisingly relaxing. I don't want to overdo it on this one. I just want little bits. Just a little bit of, oops, a little bit of green. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Everything's fine. Alright, that's good with that one. This one, come back in with some lighter. There's a lot of that gesso that's on there. Got really green like that. What about these? They don't have a lot of white on them either. Alright, now let's take another color. What color? I don't know. What color? I mean, turquoise goes with everything, right? We'll do this dark turquoise, the acrylic. Soho. Soho, Soho. It's off to play we go. We like to play with our paints. Ho, Soho. Soho, Soho, Soho. And in my opinion, turquoise goes with everything, so. There we go. Just like that. That's it. That little bit adds, in my opinion, adds to it. But that's just my opinion. You guys might not like a certain layer a certain layer or a certain color I do, and it's okay. I'm making stuff for me that I like, because otherwise why would you watch? If I focus on making things for other people, I'm never going to be happy. I just have to make things that I like. What's this one? Oh, this one was two sides. I could have picked a side. Just a darker turquoise than what's on there, right? So like where these really dark patches are, I may come through with some lighter stencil butter or something to brighten them up in a stencil. Or some lighter paint in a stencil or stamping or something, just to brighten up those really dark areas, but still having that in the background. And I may add some gesso to that at some point. Nope, this one. Oh, I forget. Sometimes I do like to be sure to go both ways. Get some fringiness on there. So there's that one. And I like chartreuse and turquoise. It works for me. Got a couple different turquoises on here now. Sometimes it might look like I get some paint on there, but barely any got picked up, and that's why you're not getting as much, seeing a lot when I then, you know, put it on there. Alright, so if you're wondering how people get these kinds of looks, this might be how. They just keep doing little bits of layers, using something like a palette knife or a credit card. If you don't have a palette knife, you can try this with a credit card. It's a little bit trickier to do, but not impossible. And you just play to see what it is you like and how to get the effects that you like. So these are pretty much dry. Oops, all right, I want more of this. I like this. Ooh, I might also bring in some more of that lime green with it. I just freaking had oh, it's underneath this card here. I'm like, how do I lose stuff so fast? How do I live without you? Don't know why that song came into my head, but it did. Ooh, another color that I would use as a nice dark color would be Payne's Gray. That would be a color that I like. In fact, that might be, and this is, you know, when there's no more of this one on my thing, I might go ahead and bring some of that in, some of these. Alright, I don't want to, I got that texture back there, so I don't want to lose it too much. You know what I'm saying? And if you scrape this paint, when you scrape it really thin, it does become a little bit semi-transparent, so you can see the pattern back there coming through a little bit. There's that one. This one has a lot of, this one I think I'll just, so these two I think I'll do the Payne's Gray on. And that one. Alright, I think this one, well, we can do a little bit of this on here. Yes we can. I know. If you don't like it, it's okay. You'll live. Much different than how it started, but the bubbles still show through a little bit. Let's finish these. So, you know, if you got some of your kids' old artwork and, you know, and they're okay with it, you can just cover it. It looks really dark. It's okay. We'll lighten that up with something, even if it's just splatter. So I could have done one with Payne's Gray and one with the turquoise just to see the difference. So this one has some texture, so I can kind of try to hit the bumps, the top bumpy bits, to get something there. Oh yeah, these. Push some of the crooked stamping into the back. Alright, do I want to use my thin Payne's Gray or like, I've got the fluid acrylic. Also, I have one that I just bought recently. Is this it? Payne's Gray Liquitex Basics, yes. The sun was shining right there. I can feel how warm that is. Alright, I try to put my little piles on different places so that my drop paper gets lots of fun stuff all over it. And that's what this paper under here, I call it drop paper. It's where all the mess gets to drop to, and it becomes fun collage fodder, collage paper to use later in something else. So I like the Payne's Grays that have more blue in them, just so you know. And the Liquitex and the Golden definitely do have some more gray in them. So the more I scrape off, the more underneath shows and kind of gets down. What if I were to kind of wipe that off? I want it to go into the crevices and stay in the crevices. That's what I want it to do. And then wipe off the top, but it's not, it wasn't doing that for me. So, I don't know. See if I can make a texture stamp like that sometime. With those, you know, that randomness, I'd have to, see, I would take a picture of it and then I would use that as my, whatchamacallit, to make a pattern for a texture stencil is how I would do that. Because it's not something I could just do. I would need some kind of something to give me an idea. I can't do random, but I can trace over random. I guess is what I'm saying. So now we've got the Payne's Gray and the dark turquoise with some light greens and the whites and the light blues in the background. I like that a lot more now. I'm more likely to use it. What about this one? Do we want to just come in with just a little bit of hello darkness, my old friend. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Yep. I know. It's got shiny pink and then a bunch of grunge. It's weird. I know. But it's okay. Don't stress about it. Don't worry about it. Alright, turquoise and Payne's Gray. Yes, please. I'm all for it. Really need to work on that green journal. That's going to have to become a priority soon because I think it's supposed to be a Christmas present for somebody. And I may or may not be going back up to Massachusetts before then, so I can bring it with me. But if I don't, then I'll have to make sure I ship it. And I want to ship it in plenty of time so that, you know how sometimes at Christmas time the mail gets a little bit funky. I'm just kind of patting it down to, I don't know, I just am. What is that? Oh, something might have fallen on my, I don't know, kind of looks like it's raining. Oh, this one. This one I wanted to bring some of the Payne's Gray into. This one I got texture by sticking the stamp in the gesso while it was still wet. This one started out yellow. I don't know if you remember. This is the one. Started out yellow, added some orange, and added something else. Or I added, I don't know what I added. And then I added blue, right? Orange and then blue, and then I got brown. And then added some gesso and some textury bits. Now I'm just scraping the heck out of it with some Payne's Gray. And that's where it is now. Oh, and the shiny one. I don't have much Payne's Gray left here. Where's my... And then this one was shiny, and I didn't like the shiny, so I added back in shiny after some gesso. Like, that made sense. Alright, we're going to push back some of the shiny. And it's going to be okay, it's alright. Don't want to eliminate the light background completely, but it was a lot. Alright, some little blue on blue action happening there. Anything else? Use some Payne's Gray. Just some darkness. That one doesn't probably... Now, I like acrylic paints. Use those because they are probably one of the easier things to clean up from as far as on your skin. Some of the inks are not so easy, which is why I got the cuticle, why I wear the gloves in a bottle and got the cuticle cleaner for the inks. The paint is easy to get off. You just need hot enough water. Alright. So, very different backgrounds from how they all started. How are we on time? Oh my goodness. Alright. I want to go through and just add some stamping to all these. What kind of stamping? I don't know. Let me find a stamp that would probably work pretty good as a background stamp. This time, instead of gesso, I'm going to use some white acrylic paint because using white ink doesn't really work as great. Or I would use some white ink. So I'm just using this gel plate. This is one of the ones from Ranger. I'm just using it as a palette for my stamps. And then I'm going to make sure I go and wash my stamps right away. I don't know where my big nested circle is. But I wish I did because I would be using that. But this one's okay too. I'm gonna probably not use that one as much though. Should have got myself a little thing of water so that I could, and I do want it to at least, I think I might be able to just clean it off with a baby wipe. You don't want paint to build up on your foam stamps. That's the important thing. Alright, let's go over to these. This is what I wanted. Alright, these are the ones by Foil. The other one was like an original PM Artist Studio design. Is that what I want? I don't know. Let's try the bigger one, see if that one's better. Press in the middle sometimes. There's that. I don't know if that's what I want. You know what I want? I want what's upstairs, and I'm too lazy to go get it. So there's that. Let's try this one. It has green on it, and that's going to affect the paint color, which is okay. So there's that one. Let's see. Here's that one, and then I can also kind of bring in a little bit of that. kind of adding a little bit of a pattern back there. And back to some white. Where'd my wipe go? Alright, let's go ahead and try some plus signs. Ugh, I moved it. But definitely needs some lighter colors on it for this very dark background. Also layering some, like when I put something on it, if I put like a piece of book page behind it, then that helps too. Unless you have something that's like really bright on there. Just little bits here and there. This one has that squiggly stuff in the back. So actually round stuff would have been good for that, but that's alright. It's hard to get this stamp straight. Which is why I usually do it the other way, but not this time. This time I did it like that. That's a lot. That's okay. This one. Alright, let's wipe this. And bring in the wallflower stamp. Just using it as background. Don't know where the smaller one is, or I would do some of that too, but I usually have it, you know, just a random pattern in the background. Which else do I have here? Do some more wallflower. So these are some examples of how you can transform some backgrounds, whether they are inky backgrounds, painty backgrounds. You could do it with collage backgrounds. You could do it with just a digital that you have if you want to change up your digitals. Use some inks, some glazes. Of course, if you use an inkjet printer, it does help if you do it on a premium 32-pound paper. It will run less, but it won't not run at all. This needs a little something, but this is really light, so this actually could go with something darker. Okay, there's that one. So these are all pieces that I am more likely to use. That one needs a little lightness. That one could go either way. That needs lightness. Alright, see, these have enough lightness in them. I'm actually okay with those the way they are. This needs something. So let's go ahead and, especially where the dark parts are. And I'm okay that it's not coming out perfectly. It gives it more of a distressed look. And it's because the paint is drying that I'm not getting a perfect thing. Just need to add more paint for that. Alright, this. Let's add a little bit of paint. Paint, 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 paint. I had to paint 5 minutes ago. Here it is right next to me. So yeah, just using this as my palette. Especially when I hit the places where it's dark. There we go. Makes for a fun background. Any reason I'm not like centering these or anything, because this is just background. It's not intended to be a focal point, just the background. So pattern, 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 pattern. Well, that's the color I've got on there, so we'll do, maybe this one will just be light. Do a little white on white over here. I do try to turn the stamp or turn the paper, or, you know, just so it's not too, there you go. That's an interesting look. I could do an all over spray on that once it dries. Alright, I'm going to go rinse all these off to make sure they got all the paint off of them. Alright, I don't know if I want to do the coffee or the fallen leaves. When I start with coffee and just take this lovely little grunge stamp, which I like a lot, and just kind of bring it around the edges on some of these, especially this one that's really bright, and it'll just grunge it up. So that grunges it up nicely. And it pushes everything to the background just a little bit. You know, brings down some of that white. And I don't know, it's interesting to me. I don't know about the coffee though. This one I think would definitely need to be darker. Maybe even go turquoise with it. Because who says grunge has to be brown? Not me. And this is a color we started with. Alright, so it just brings, alright, so these are not quite as white now, so they're more into the background. We've got little lines and little bits of grunge here and there. This stencil is found at PM Art, this stamp is sold at PM Artist Studio. It is, oh my goodness, I'm going to forget, Rhonda's. I think it's one of Rhonda's. And Rhonda also, she is another person that has very similar aesthetics to me. I'm just kind of going both directions just to get some good grunge in there. Let's see what. Oh, I was also thinking about doing maybe some splatters and whatnot. See this one? No, I think it's okay. Just I was like maybe it needs a brighter grunge, but maybe not. Just kind of sticking with the turquoise here, which is just adding another layer. That's all we're doing here. Just adding layers. I don't have to do it everywhere. There we go. This one, I don't want to do the grunge stamp. Well, or do I? Well, if I do, I don't want to do it in that color. But the fallen leaves would probably be a good one for this, which is probably right here. And then I'll ink it with, just kind of want it on the edges a little bit here and there. Alright, now it's super grungy, way less pink. I'm okay with that. Let's see, this one we could do, oh yeah, get the nice, good grungy border happening on there. So this is the thick part, so that's the part that I'm kind of like focusing on the edges. And then this part here, I'm kind of focusing in the middle, like kind of pressing that part down. And it gives us some nice, good grunge. And then, alright, so I'm going to probably do this on most of these. There we go, just adding some grunge. I'll be right back because then I'll do splatters. Okay, I have added some white splatters with, I'll show you what it is in a second and I will link it below. And now I'm using Scorched Timber and I'm trying to hold it up. This is still wet, so if it mixes that will be weird, but whoops. I'm trying to hold it up high just to get little spritz here and there. I'm not trying to cover the whole thing. I just want little bits here and there, but not like a full spray. It's a little bit harder than you'd think. There we go. That works. A little bigger. Usually I would use like a paintbrush and water down black ink, but I'm feeling lazy today. Also, I've heard Scorched Timber is really dark, so I was like, oh, it's probably close to black. It might be kind of a cool thing to do. So they need to dry. Oh, I didn't get these. Got two more over here. Trying to keep them on my desk, otherwise I'm going to like forget to show you some at the end. And some of them are getting overspray as well, and it's fine, it's all good. I'm gonna dry these and be right back. They're mostly dry. Oops. Well, the ink kind of got out of control. I don't think that one's totally dry, so I think I can go ahead and bring in a wet or damp paper, what is this, baby wipe, and remove it. You can do that before it dries. So, you know, if you're splattering and there are some that just kind of got out of hand, you can wipe them. And for the splatters, that one did get some blue wicked up through it, but you'll notice even on this one with the water-soluble ink, it didn't pick up much of the blue. Not like it would have if it was paint or distress ink. This is what I use, Bleed Proof White by Dr. P.H. Martins. I saw somebody else using it for a different purpose, and then I realized, oh, I could use that as white splatter, and it should mostly stay white. It doesn't totally stay white, but it mostly stays white. which is pretty impressive considering everything else would have wicked up all the color. And if I had heat dried it faster, it might have been. So this one, there's one, and there's another. I know this video is long. I could go back through. I could edit it and fast forward some of the bits, or you hopefully thought about that yourself while you were watching it. You're like, just kind of fast forward through the repetitive bits. But sometimes some of those repetitive bits, different things happen no matter what, even though I'm doing the same thing. And so, you know, it's kind of good to see it. And, you know, a little bit longer. You can always watch it in 2 segments, I guess. I mean, not helping you by saying this all at the end. If you're not sure how to watch things at like a faster speed, if you click on the little gear, this is for future, this won't help you for this video, but if there's a little gear, it's either at the top or the bottom depending on your device. You click on that and then you can click on playback speed and you can speed up or slow down. So that is all of the backgrounds that were transformed today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I definitely do enjoy just playing with my mediums and just adding stuff and just having fun with it. I hope you all have a delightful day. Love you.